30 years, it became possible to buy your clothing, your appliances, major components of everything that we have much more cheaply than would otherwise have been the case, because production took place in China and the prices that they could charge and still make money were much lower. It has benefited the standard of living. It gave China a chance to industrialize what was a mutually beneficial system, and are shifting, first under Trump and now apparently under Biden, to this aggressive posture, which I can assure you around the world looks like it's the United States.
제가 트렌드 차이나라는 책을 쓰려고 중국에 진출한 한국 주재원들하고 많이 인터뷰를 했는데요. 많은 분들이 그런 말씀을 하시더라고요. 중국에 처음 와서 6개월, 1년 지나면 조금 중국을 알아가는 것 같았는데 이제 10년, 20년이 지나니까 오히려 중국을 하나도 모르겠다고요. 그래서 더 두렵다고요. 그렇습니다. 우리가 중국을 두려워하는 것은 어쩌면 제대로 모르기 때문입니다. 우리가 그 두려움을 극복하는 방법은 중국을 제대로 아는 것입니다.
Guess. Hardly anyone. No, let me rephrase that. No one could have imagined 40 years later where China would be. One of the most extraordinary events in human history. Extraordinary transformation. In my view, 1978 is one of the most important events of the whole of the 20th century. Since 1978, as many have said already, tremendous growth rate, averaging 9.5% for about 40 years. China growing with extraordinary speed, closing the gap to the United States, 2005 and then 2011. And then in 2014, according to the International Comparison Program of the World Bank, according to GDP measured by purchasing power parity, China actually overtook, by this measure, the United States to become the largest economy.
Now that gave me the third perspective of China as a country where you would not necessarily convince your interlocutor, your partner, that something is really as important as you think. But if they find out that it is important, they would also decide very quickly on what exactly has to be done, and they will implement that decision very energetically. So that idea of implementation was very important. Now, why I'm telling you all this? I'm telling you all this because this is the basis from which I proceed when we talk about China's roads and prospects. You see, in the United Nations, we learned that China has been a major factor in global improvement. Now, as you know much better than me,
building of roads, building of infrastructure is an enormously positive development for the enrichment of the Chinese people. You know, a train from Boston to New York takes today about 4 hours. It's about 220 miles. The same distance is the distance between Shanghai and Nanjing, and by high-speed rail, by Chinese Gaotie, it takes 1 hour and 2 minutes. That is the future that China has grasped more directly than many other countries.
China was a very poor country. China was actually a very poor country up until the 1990s even. The idea of China as the largest economy in the world was an unbelievable idea in 1980 or 1990, even for most people in 2000. But China's rise has been the most spectacular event in the world in the last 25 years. I would say that's a great success story for the world.
If you're going to be talking about economics, the Chinese have developed their economy, an economy of almost 1.5 billion people. One of the poorest places on this planet is now the second economic power, and within a decade will likely overtake the United States in sheer output. This is an unbelievable achievement. It is a greater, more rapid economic development than any capitalist country has achieved by a lot.